find your passion, it ignites you as a person. You just feel awesome.
Hello, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet and you've watched more than one video, we should be friends, so go ahead and subscribe. But one of our sisters, she writes, I love these videos. So she just watched, the thumbnail is Live Rolling Explained. I can link the video down below. And so she watched that video and she says that she loves it. Question, are you able to share how you recover on rest days? I found myself burnt out. BJJ isn't like anything I've tried before. I slept for 12 hours and don't want to crash and burn like I did the other day. Thank you. Hi, Vero. How are you doing, girl? All right, so this is a very, very good question, and I'll share some stories that happened to me recently and that happened to me when I first began, and then I'm going to share something with you that I learned from reading a book, and I'll share with you something that only dawned on me the second or third time I read it. It's when it really clicked. But all right, so this is what happened to me on Monday. It's the day after, morning after training, really hard last night. Yesterday I did a really intense morning workout of weightlifting and jumping, and it was really, I think, like CrossFit style workout. And then I did BJJ class, which was basically like king and queen of the mat at the end, and then we did some hard sparring. And I feel like a turd that has been set on fire and then run over by a truck. That's pretty much how I feel. Oh, before we get any further, ladies, I have a fight coming up on August 7th, which is why Vera was like, hey, do you think you could share this? Because in the video that she watched, I recorded my live training and narrate it to explain like what happens. And when you have a fight coming up, your opponent will watch any video that you have out there of your training so they can study you and basically use that against you. So I can't like record any more of my live training until after the fight. But what I can do is, if you guys want, what I can do is I can put it on my Patreon. That way I can control and see who is a member and who isn't. That way I can make sure it's like not somebody that my opponent knows, and I can, you know, because that wouldn't be very smart of me. So that's why she's like, can you share? So I could definitely share this part to help you guys feel better after training. So first of all, feeling like crap is part of the process. And when I read the book that I'll also link below, they talk about training in waves. So this is really, really important to understand because you're not doing anything wrong by feeling like crap. Feeling like crap is part of the process, okay? So this is like high intensity, and this is your rest. And this, on these rest days, you are going to feel like, let's draw some flies. This is what you're going to feel like if you had a very high intense training session, and then you rest and recover. You know, you have another high intensity session, and then you rest and recover. And sometimes, you know, you said that you got 12 hours of sleep that night. Like, that is really, really good. If you find yourself having to sleep for those long periods of time, like, sleep is the number one thing that you can do to recover. Number one thing. One thing, for me anyways, for my body, if I am overtraining, that's when my sleep gets impacted, and my body won't even let me sleep 6 hours. Like, it'll wake me up at 4, 5 a.m. and my body will go into this overdrive. So if your body is letting you rest for 12 hours, that is okay. But on your rest days, what's really important is, number one is sleep, and number two is hydration. Refilled, and now I have to pee. One more second. So basically take a look at your urine, and if it is like a light golden, then you're golden. But if it's a little more yellowy, then like you definitely need to hydrate. So rest, hydration, and then also getting the proper nutrition. So eating. One thing that I'll share with you that has really helped me recently is typically when I keep track of my macros and what I'm eating throughout the day, I do it in my head because, you know, I did some competitive bodybuilding competitions and I'm pretty good at that. But what I found was I was actually shortchanging myself in the carbs department. So I went back on, there's this app that I'll link below. I actually got you guys a discount code the other day. So yeah, you're welcome. So I got you a discount code, and I used this app a year ago for about a year, actually 2 years ago for about a year, and it works really well. It has like a huge database and you can just scan in items. And what I found was when I started using it again, I felt so much more energy because I was shortchanging myself on carbs, and and I would also miss meals. So I would just get really busy and then end up eating like 2 meals, 3 meals. Like I thought I was getting enough macros in, enough protein, carbs, and fat, but I wasn't. And I would come back from training and literally, okay, don't tell anybody this. Well, I shouldn't even be embarrassed, but I would cry, and I would either come home and be completely angry, or I would go in the shower and have a couple tears in the shower and then come out, and then once I ate something, I would feel better. So if you're coming home from training and you feel like complete crap, like your confidence is at an all-time low, you feel like crying, or you feel like just, you know, breaking something, take a look at this app and try it out. And you can, I feel so much better these past 2 weeks from using that app because I've been getting more food. I find sometimes as women, like this is kind of, all right, so let me like level with you here. I find that like in our society, like women are kind of told like, oh, you have to be a certain weight or you have to be skinny. And I find with that mentality, for me anyway, sometimes I find myself shortchanging myself on my food. And food is really important besides sleep. If you're getting 12 hours of sleep, girl, like go you. And you're getting hydration, like I'll link this below. This is the biggest cup you can get on Amazon that will still fit in a cup holder. The cup holder that I have in my car anyway. So I think there's measurements on the bottom to see if you can fit in yours. But yeah, like if you're getting sleep and hydration, and eating is so important because I find I shortchange myself. And I think it's just from living in a society where, you know, women are told that we're supposed to be a certain way. We're supposed to be like dainty and, you know, like, ooh, and then men are told that they have to be strong. And so then they look at food like fuel and like re-energizing. And sometimes as women, we're challenged with our relationship with food. So that's why I really like this RP app, because I don't have to worry about it. Like it shows me what I need to eat, and I eat it, and I know I'm doing exactly what I need to fuel my body. So that's something that I've learned. Like I wasn't eating enough, which is shocking because I like to eat, but you need to make it a priority. And for me, it's like when I get going on things, like food kind of goes out the window. So yeah, so I recommend that RP app so you can like feel better after training, because it gives you a lot of carbs post training, and so I'm in a better mood. And as far as like on your rest days, one thing besides rest, hydration, and eating, one thing that you can do too that I really like to do is, even though I feel like complete crap, I still force myself to move. So go for a walk. Even though your body, like my body will be yelling at me like, do not move from this couch, just stay still. Like moving and going for a walk, getting some fresh air, like that is the best thing you can do, because it's almost like everything just gets really tight and you don't want to move. But if you give in to that and just stay still, then it'll just keep on getting tighter and tighter, and that's like no bueno. It's no good. So on your rest day, I recommend like light activity, like walking. And then for the mental, you can watch something funny or something that makes you feel good. I just did a really good history video. I know history seems boring, but like I did it in a funny way. If you've ever seen those like drunk history shows where it's like they talk about history but in a really funny way. Yeah, so I basically did that for jiu-jitsu. If you haven't watched that, go and watch that because you'll laugh. It has some really funny parts. So yeah, so what you have to look at is like, okay, so you're doing really good. Like if you feel like shit, that's completely normal. That is part of the process. I still, no matter where you are, like in your journey, if you're pushing yourself, you will feel like poop at some point. I mean, the other day when I was talking with Gary, he did like his workout before jiu-jitsu class. Like he went to the gym, did weights and did like his program, went to class and rolled after, and afterwards he was like, it hurts to be alive. Like it takes a lot of effort just to sit. So don't feel like you're doing it wrong or there's something wrong with you because you feel like poop when it's your rest day, because that is normal. Pretty soon what's going to happen is you're going to find that if this is like, you know, your rest day, and if poop is this level, over time with this intensity, you'll start to feel less and less like poop. But if you want to progress in the amount of loading that your body can take, you will find yourself starting to do more and more jiu-jitsu, and it's like the more the more loading you do, then you'll be here. So like throughout your whole entire journey, like if you're pushing yourself, you will have days where you feel like crap, and that is completely normal. I know in the beginning, I'm like, in the beginning of the intro, I'm like, yeah, you find, you know, you're passionate, you just feel awesome. Well, you feel awesome because you're able to compare it to the days where you feel like crap. Like you need the light in order to figure out what dark looks like. You know what I mean? Like this is the dark right here. But yeah, so know that if you're sleeping, you know, you're drinking a lot of water. I'll also link my BCAAs that I use in my water, which I find flavored water helps me drink it. So having this huge thing with a straw, I'll drink it more if there's a straw. I'll drink more of it if it's flavored. So I like do these things to kind of like trick myself to set myself up for success. Now, and eating, make sure you're eating enough and you're eating the right combination of macros. So I'll link the RP app that I started using again, that I love this app. And then, you know, go for walks, do things that make you feel good, to give your mind a break, and make sure that you are also giving yourself a break, because you, like, if it's your off day and you're like, oh my God, I feel like crap, and you feel like crap for feeling like crap, like you're not giving yourself a break. Like it's okay to feel like crap. It's really part of the process. And if you feel like crap, then you know that you've been pushing yourself, and what more can you ask for? I mean, when I first started jiu-jitsu, I came in and I wasn't off the couch. I was very active. You know, I was like, just came back off of bodybuilding. So I was in the weightlifting pretty much every single day. I was, you know, rock climbing. In the winter, I ice climb. Like I would legit climb 4K mountains, like in New Hampshire, and not be sore the day after. Like that's the type of person I was. And then I go and take one class of jiu-jitsu, just the beginning intro class, and literally I was hobbling out of bed. Like I was like, oh, like jiu-jitsu is nothing else. Like it's like no other animal. And you know that whole like ooh, the jujitsu lifestyle. It's like they say that, the jujitsu lifestyle, and people say that, oh, jujitsu saved my life, because you literally have to have a good lifestyle in order to even do it. Because if you're out like at all hours of the night, eating like crap, not drinking water, you know, like having an unhealthy lifestyle, like you literally can't do jujitsu because your body just won't allow it. So in the beginning, it's going to take a this intent, like we feel the same, like on Monday, like if you had class on Monday, right? I guarantee you Tuesday morning, we both felt the same exact way. It took me a little more to get there, but that's only because you just started and you need to give your body some time to get used to the sport. It's a combat sport, girl. Like you're out there, you know what I mean, trying to kick some ass. Well, you're probably getting your ass kicked, which we've all been there. And you will continue to get your ass kicked because it's a matter of relativity. Like I will continue to get my ass beat because there will always be somebody better than me. It just sucks when you're at the beginning because then, you know, you can't, like, you're at the bottom of the totem pole, but you'll get up there and have people, you know, that you can then practice on. But all right, so thank you so much for watching. I just want you to know that, like, if you come home from jiu-jitsu and you feel like complete crap and you feel like crying and you feel frustrated, go eat some carbs right away, and I guarantee you within half an hour you will feel better. It's like just like instantaneous. Go try the RP app and you will feel better. You know, and there are plenty of times that after training I feel like crap, especially if I'm like overtraining. And if you watched my my video where I talk about the training frequency, I talked about there was like a time period of a couple months where I was training at like a very high frequency, and then the intensity of my training sessions increased, and it was like I legit, honestly, I would come home and like cry in the shower pretty much every night because it was just so much of a physical load on me, because it's like there's no break. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a smaller person on the mat, like every roll is intense. There's no easy roll, you know, especially if you're a beginner. So I just want you to know that, like, you're not doing it wrong. You are, especially if you're either overtraining or underfed, you will feel like crying or like punching a hole in the wall, whatever. However you emotionally respond to things, that's, yeah, it's completely normal. It's part of the process. So yeah, just be kind to yourself. You're doing a good job. You're not doing anything wrong. If you feel like poop, you are doing, you know, you're trying to get into a sport that's really, really hard to get into. And a lot of people don't survive their first year of jiu-jitsu because it's so hard. So I just want you to know that I believe in you. I think that you can do it. You can make it through your first year. Just have faith in yourself and know that every single time that you do one of these things, you are getting yourself like one step closer to getting back in there. And pretty soon after a while, you know, doing the 2 classes a week, what used to make me sore will be like nothing to you, and you'll be able to train every day. But it's gonna take a little bit of time, and just making sure that, you know, you're doing the things that are good for you. All right, so if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. We should be friends. If you made it all the way here through this video, we should definitely be friends. And if you want to see more live training, I'll put some on my Patreon like next week or the week after. All right, so until next time.